Surprise, here we are again, the final chapter of Mesopotamia. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have to talk about the land that was between, not rivers this time, it's between Mesopotamia, the area of Mesopotamia, and Egypt. It's right next to the Mediterranean Sea. That's the land of Canaan and the Phoenicians. Here we go. So your goal, you need to write this down on the right side of your notes. Remember, you will be able to, at the end of this chapter, answer the essential question, how much does geography affect people's lives? This is the final chapter for this question. So when this is on the test, you better be able to answer it. And your goal will be able to describe the land of Canaan, which in Greek also means Phoenicia, and explain the importance of these ancient people towards their commerce, that's trade, alphabet, and religion. All right, the beginnings. Let's start at the beginnings. So the land of Canaan, or Phoenicia, is on the eastern border of the Mediterranean Sea. It's present-day Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Israel, especially Israel. The Greeks call these people Phoenicians due to their use of purple dyes in their cloth and all their clothing. And Phoenician in Greek means purple. So some people call Phoenicians the purple people. Canaan was at times part of Egypt, either friends with Egypt and the area of Mesopotamia, or sometimes they were the enemies of those two. So here's the map showing you where they were based. They were over here on the right side, Ardos, Byblos, Sidon. That was the major one on the right here, Phoenicia. And they traded all across the Mediterranean Sea, all over. Any place that had people, the Phoenicians were there trading with everything. So I want you to look at that map again, try to answer these map questions. So number one, which continents did the Phoenicians trade on? So look at that map. Which ones they trade on? And 2 and 3, did the Phoenicians ever settle anywhere else besides between the land of Mesopotamia and Egypt? Look at all those dots, read the map key. It'll tell you. And why do you think the Phoenicians might have settled anywhere else? Why move? Maybe it's something to do with geography. Now let's talk about people and trade, commerce. Women could and did serve as priestess, could own land, could enter into a marriage on their own, choosing their own husband, or they could initiate a divorce. All contracts. Men weren't in charge of women. It was equal. However, by the second millennium BCE, about 200 BCE, Byblos was the greatest export of cedar. It's a great wood for building things. In Mesopotamia, they didn't have it. Egypt didn't have it. So if they wanted cedar, they had to come to Phoenicia, Canaan, to get it. The city of Tyre was known for something else. It was known for the purple that they were known. Phoenicians, purple people. They made the purple dye that no one else in the world knew how. So they could dye clothes different colors, mostly purple. And everyone else in the world wanted it because they were tired of having whites or tan-colored clothes. All right. And the city of Sidon, the third city, was also known for its education, including creating something called the Phoenician alphabet, which you might know. Behold, Phoenician alphabet, which is where you get your alphabet today. Boom. Mind blown. See? I'm not lying. So did you notice anything similar? I hope you did. If you did, hopefully you could put in your notes saying the Phoenician alphabet and the English alphabet are one and the same. Now, anyone asking questions why Mr. Morse is having studied this? If you don't know, maybe it's because you owe them one. All right, seafaring. These people were traders, but not land traders. They're known for shipbuilding and seafaring. They traveled everywhere by sea. Everywhere. Egypt, Italy, Spain, all the eastern Atlantic Ocean, all the way up to the islands of England. They went as far as they could travel. Some made it, some didn't. I don't know. The sea travel caused a spread of cultural ideas. This is cultural diffusion. They took their alphabet and trained everybody in it. So even if you couldn't speak Spanish or Italian or Greek or Sumerian, it didn't matter because everyone could understand the same basic language of letters. So they taught everyone they traded with the letter system, and that spread throughout the world, and it's why it's still in our world today. That's a basic Phoenician trade ship right there, loading up all the ships for trade. And notice that they have just one sail because most of their sailing was by the shoreline because they couldn't cross deep water too well. So oars powered most of them. And there's all the sea trade routes they managed to do in over 1,000 years. They went up and down the Mediterranean, the Black Sea, up the Atlantic Ocean. Now, they had some problems in this timeline. You'll see they made about 1600 BC was when they made their alphabet. However, about 150 years after that, they had a huge battle. Egypt invaded them. They betrayed them. They went from being friends to frenemies. They attacked. Now, the people of Canaan joined up to defeat Thutmose III, the pharaoh of Egypt. But suddenly, during this time, their cities were getting wiped out by this group of people who had moved in, possibly people who were freed as slaves from Egypt. They were called the Israelites. So the Hebrews start moving in. This is the Jewish people. They start moving in, taking parts of Canaan or Phoenicia for themselves. With the incoming of these guys, their great cities were mostly taken out, destroyed, abandoned because of earthquakes, lack of water. Another reason possibly for the downfall of Phoenicia or Canaan, same thing, is that the rest of the world was in a bad way. The Hittite Empire that conquered Mesopotamia for a short bit of time fell apart. So now there's no control of Mesopotamia. The city of Troy, which was a huge city outside the Black Sea, they were controlling most of the trade with the Phoenicians. They were wiped out by the Greeks. And then this group of people known as the Sea Peoples, we're not sure exactly where they came from. They started attacking everybody. Every Phoenician settlement, village, they just attacked anyone that had anything they wanted to steal. So the Sea People raided everywhere and wiped out most of the Phoenician trade partners and a lot of the Phoenicians. So new people started replacing the Phoenicians. This is those Israelites came out of Canaan from Egypt, settling around it in the south. And the Canaanites tried to fight back because they had the better cities, but the Israelites had the better leadership. Under King David, they were able to break the Philistine/Canaan power, and they wiped them out. They took the city of Jerusalem, and for all practical purposes, the whole area of Israel became from Canaan to Israel. That is there today. So this new land was also the same land, the birth of Jesus, and the Hebrew Jewish religion. So there's Moses leading his people out of Egypt after they were imprisoned for hundreds of years by the Babylonians, sold into slavery to Egypt as a deal, a partnership. Now, this last thing, Judaism is a form of religion. The Jewish people, formerly Hebrew, now they're called Jews, same people though. The religious symbol called the Star of David. That's after the famous king, remember? And here's a map reminding you, Canaan was between Egypt and Mesopotamia. So they had the deserts all around them. All they had was that little Jordan River to give them water. They could trade with people across the Great Sea, which became Mediterranean. But what if the people never learned to sail? No one. The Phoenicians didn't do it, which then means they couldn't have taught the Greeks or the Egyptians or the Mesopotamians or anybody else. If we had never learned to sail, what would happen? And did you get there? At the end of your notes, the Did You Get There section, I want you to answer these following questions. Name 2 inventions of the Phoenicians. What was the number 1 way for the Phoenicians to travel and why they traveled that way? And what does the word Phoenician even mean? And what rights did those women have in ancient Canaan? And why is it so important to know these rights of women? All right. Last but not least, who were the Israelite Hebrews and why were they important for the world today? All right. I want to thank you guys for listening. Hopefully you have your notes. Repeat. See you guys later.